First of May 2023, welcome to this energy update. Happy Beltane. Today is one of the Celtic festivals that marks the points between equinoxes, and today is Beltane. It's a celebration, May Day, of love, of spring. It's actually sort of the midpoint of spring in the calendar of the Celts, and it was always a time of celebration, of coming out of the depths of winter into the newness and the new beginnings of the rest of the year. It was always about the hawthorn tree. You would actually take some hawthorn into the house as a good luck charm, and many maidens would make circular headdresses with blossoms of this time of year, including the hawthorn blossom. And the maypole dances of celebration, of weaving with each other as a community and weaving into hopes of love, of companionship, of new beginnings. And those are the blessings that we're sending to you today. So happy Beltane. So Gaia has talked this month about a huge banner word, if you like, meaning that everything that comes within this month is all about, well, it's always about you, but it's about completions. So this is the month to complete things. So this isn't just about completing endings, so things coming to an end, but it might just be as simple as completing, sorting out your filing. It might be completions of sorting your sock drawer out. It might be as simple as completing a piece of artwork that's been in the background for a long time. It might be completing relationships. It might be completing anything. The word completion is for the whole lot. So no matter how small or large something is completed, the energies are absolutely very, very, very strongly supporting you in that. Now, some completions are part of new beginnings, and some completions are part of ends of chapters. One doesn't always, sometimes there's a pause and a neutral field that we enter in between those things. So all bets are off this month about it having to mean anything that we understand from the old paradigm. So along with this completion support that you've got in abundance is an energy that's coming in asking you to allow life to find you. So instead of striving or pushing or maneuvering things, it's an art of allowing life to find you. So you're being encouraged, and these are from the higher beings that I speak with now, higher vibrational cosmic beings. They're asking you to just allow life to find you. Go into witnessing, go into noticing, so that you understand, oh, that's happening over there, that's happening over there, and look at this here. So you start to adjust to allowing life to find you. So you get clearer vision of what's actually happening in your own life, and stay in a neutral field as you observe. Okay? And you're invited into joining in with a neutral field as you observe. Okay, so along with the allowance and the sort of, the allowance of life finding you comes an invitation to align with your highest nature. So when you allow life to show itself and find you, and then align with the honor that's within you. So this is your higher nature, this is your heart space, this is your intuitive knowing. The land and the world of intuitive living is really being called upon now, and it does not belong into the well, we have to do this step, that step, this step, that step, and they all have to be right before we move forward in this way. It doesn't belong there. It's a completely different field of living, of frequency. The intuitive side just knows when it's right. When you're in alignment with your higher heart, your higher self, your higher nature, you just kind of know, and it might not make any sense at all, and it might not mix with logic too much, but you kind of know it's the right thing. And that's the invitation at the moment, to sink into that side of your being and your awareness, and you're aligning with your honor. So this rightness is kind of like, it's like your internal compass of truth. This honouring that you're being invited into, it's your own internal compass of the right truth for you. So no matter what's going on around you, you can find that truth, you can find that way forward, your own pathway, your own information as it rises from your heart and from your belly. You just kind of know stuff. Okay, so those are kind of like what Gaia and some of the cosmic beings have helped with for the month of May. So in addition to this month's heads up from Gaia and our cosmic guides, we've also got quite a bit of information coming through from a group of beings called the Hathors. Now, they are coming through more and more, as well as the beings in the dome. So these beings are coming in more and more in my soul gathering monthly meetings on Zoom. And one of the messages that is really coming in strongly is humanity's evolution into a higher version of oneself. So there's support and information coming through about this exact thing that I've been calling unity consciousness for a long time now. You know, there's moments in our lives where we're very much in duality. It's still very much us and them and black and white, love and hate, war and peace, all of that. And that can take your focus. And you know, there is science that talks about what you focus on, you get more of. And then there's this other sort of quiet and very loud revolution going on in mankind. And it's happening within everybody's heart space. It's like the Schumann resonance, if you want to look that up, has altered imperceptibly. You couldn't have plotted the change that's happened with that. And that's to do with, you know, lightning strikes on this planet and how many more there are, and the photons from the rays of the sun. There's so much activity in our galaxy that we are being affected by. And it all comes together to invite us into unity consciousness. Now, to me, what unity consciousness is about mastery and leadership in your own life. So much so that it becomes a pleasure to divert your attention from the duality phase into being united with your own truth, with your own intuition, with your own heart. And what actually happens as a byproduct of that is you attract a community of souls. I call the one I'm in and part of soul family, soul gatherings. And it sort of like you attract and are attracted to a certain vibration of people who have their focus on a higher nature development. And one of the things the Hathors and the beings in the dome have spoken to me about for the month of May, and going into around about the 10th of June, it sort of goes over into that period, is one of this, what we've just spoken about, your internal compass for your own truth, and rely on that more. You know, when anybody comes up with an opinion, or when anybody comes up with anything that I'm saying now, do it with me now. You know, is that true for me? Does that resonate with me? Is it worth me focusing more on? Is it worth me actually acting upon it in some way, shape or form? So it's worth having a look at that. So one of the interesting things that might be of assistance for you this month is to have a bit more of awareness of how much you're in a duality phase, which you already know because that's what we've majority lived so far in this lifetime, and kind of like how much you're stepping into the unity consciousness. And the Hathors, the beings in the dome, have given us some information with regard to noticing that. And they're letting us know you may, and gosh, please do put in the comments field for me and contact me about this if you're experiencing this, because it seems to be rising. It seems to be something that's rising. And this is where we're getting sort of like two aspects of ourselves that's merging somewhere within a field. So one of them is where you might feel out of place. You just feel out of place. It might be within yourself, it might be your environment, specific situations. And we all understand what the feeling of out of place feels like and what it kind of travels with. But so that would be like the duality out of place. But the unity one is where you understand you just feel out of place, but for some reason you're okay with that. For some reason it feels right. So these are the sort of sensations to actually bring your awareness onto. Notice, observe during this month of May in particular. It's definitely this feeling of something that normally would drag you down a bit or get you inquiring or need to change. But the unity consciousness provides a new foundation, a higher frequency foundation than we've known before as our basics that say, yeah, but I'm okay with that. It's not that you're accepting all things that feel rubbish. It's just an awareness that you feel out of place, but you understand there's a rightness to that feeling for the time being, and who knows what's next. But it's sort of, yeah, I'm aware this is it, but I'm okay with it. So another point of unity consciousness this month is your awareness about your needs. Now, we all know where we're really needy in certain situations and where we're really needy with certain people or whatever it happens to be. We understand how our needs are woven in with our belief structure of who we are. And I tell you, this month's all up for grabs on that one. So you're going to find that you start to have a different relationship with your own needs. Because of the example we've just given, where you're okay with being out of place, it means that your needs, your view of what your own needs are, is changing. So allow the flow, allow the fluidity of that change to arrive to you. Like Gaia said, allow life to find you. So it's like, you know, again, it's this thing about change, and it's this thing about not letting go of your needs. It's not even that. It's just a realization and awareness that your relationship with your own needs is changing, and therefore has an effect on your own value system, on your own beliefs of who you really are. This field of all potentiality is expanding and becoming much more palpable than it's ever been before. And because of that, your relationship with yourself, with the energies that are available, with love, with a united world, with peace, is changing. It's arriving in its droves. So it's asking this of us. It's asking us to be aware that our needs are changing and aligning with our own truth. Be the honor that you are. Check in with your heart before you act or you speak. There is power in your words. You're a powerful being. Okay, so I did pull a couple of cards to give us a heads up as well this month out of 2 different packs. One is the Denise Lind, the Sacred Forest Oracle, and one is Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light. And I pulled it earlier so it was a bit easier to read. So the one that came out of Denise Lind's one is Pegasus and Transcending. And it says the spirit of Pegasus says you're on a pilgrimage of the soul. It's time to transcend the weight of earthly burdens, fly over situations that have been pulling you down. Don't involve yourself in the drama of others. When you remember that you have come from spirit and are eternal, challenging situations will resolve. A profound transformation is at hand. So again, let me know, has that been something that's spoken to you? Does that resonate? And then the one from Rebecca Campbell is Answer the Call. And this one is, what is your soul calling you to do? So what is your soul calling you to do? So she says, your guidance is divinely guided. You're being called to answer the call of your soul. It might be scary. It might not make sense. But if you trust your soul's yearnings, you will live a life beyond what your mind could possibly imagine. Answering your soul's calling is not a one-time thing, rather a lifelong dance. Deep down, you already know what you long for, what your soul yearns for. Okay, my loves. Well, let's get into this dance of May, shall we? Around the maypole to begin with Beltane. You know, Beltane's always about lighting a fire as well. There's still a lot of fire energy going on at the moment. But it's about lighting the fire to celebrate you coming out of winter. And what better messages are there than we've had today for the whole of this month, starting with May Day. You light a fire because it reminds you of cleansing all of the stuff that has been stagnant over the winter. And the winds of change will come up and greet you. And you light your fire. Heart is represented with the fire and passion to focus on witnessing what's arriving for you and choosing what it is you need this day. Lots of love. Mwah. Talk to you again soon. Bye for now. As much as I love the magnolia, and I really wanted to share that tree with you today because it's just magnificent and it's prime at the moment, I could not, in all honesty, leave out the hawthorn tree on May Day. The tree of the heart. You know, in herbal medicine it's used often to help with support of our veins and some capillary action and all sorts of different things. So, you know, I think our ancient ones really knew a thing or two to actually take the blossoms that might be out in some parts of the world. We're a little bit behind this year for ours, but to take the blossoms and to take the gifts of the energy of the heart of the tree to dispel all of winter's gloom and enter the fullness of spring. I wish you well. I wish you a life full of heart-led adventures and lots of love, everyone.